Well, here it is. This is my new to me 2003 Chevrolet Montecarlo SS. Sitting as of right now, it has 61,500 miles, you could say. I'm rounding. But here it is. I drove up to Greensburg, PA to get this car. Sorry I had to let that car go by. It's the day before Easter, so everybody's out driving around doing stuff. But drove up to Greensburg, PA. From where I am, that's about a 4-hour drive, 200 miles. Drove it back home in the same day, and car did just fine, cruising at 70 miles an hour, keeping up with traffic. But this car is not stock. So in the factory in 2003, these cars had the regular naturally aspirated 3.8 V6. This one has since had the ZZP top end swap, so now it is supercharged like the 2004 and 5 versions came from the factory. You could option this car in 2004 and 5 with a supercharger, or just the regular 3.8, or the base model LS with a 3.4. But without me rambling on, I'll go ahead and give you some more details. So, this is what I sold the Blazer in order to get. Sold the Blazer, I believe, the day after, or 2 days after I got this car. Just like I said at my house in the last video, at my house you can only have 2 cars per house. So I had to sell that. 1, because not enough room. 2, because it needed some work. And 3, because I didn't have the money to put into it at the time, or currently. Because with this car, trying to dump another $5,000 into the Blazer to keep it running just didn't make a lot of sense. But this car is pretty solid. When I mean pretty, I mean I've put about 1,000 miles on it, and trouble-free miles. Now granted, it's only 1,000 miles. I do expect that things are going to be going up, and I'm well aware of that. But the guy, it's got brand new tires, brand new brakes, brand new brake lines. You can see it has drilled and slotted rotors. He converted all the rubber lines to stainless, so the brake pedal has a great feel. And it doesn't swell. It's got a full exhaust. I'll pop the hood in a minute. LED tail lights. I did do some little cosmetic things, like I changed the reverse lights, the tag lights, the low beams, the fog lights to LED. I kept the high beams a halogen bulb so that I can still keep my daytime running lights, and the turn signals in the front are still halogen, because I don't feel like adding in resistors and all that kind of stuff. This car is more sensitive to LEDs compared to the Blazer. I did swap out all the interior lights, and they drew such a low power that the car thought that they were on all the time. So I'm glad I realized that. So I had to put the factory halogen bulbs back into the car. But yeah, like I said, this car has a lot of stuff done to it, and I'm not really even naming a lot at the moment, but like I said, a lot of stuff is done. So if we take a look underneath, this is what I'm most stoked about. As a lot of people know, these W bodies, Monte Carlos, Buick Regals, you name it, the W body platform, they rust out. This one is completely solid. There is no rust, no nothing. You could eat off of this, off of the bottom of the car. A lot of common things with these is these cars like to rust all up in here. My grandfather had a 2002, identical to this car, but just, with different wheels. But other than that, it was identical. But, his was rusting out on that side, and if you didn't maintain these cars and keep them cleaned, and garage kept and didn't drive them in the salt, they just rust out. And a lot of people don't even overlook these cars because of that. But this car is completely clean. There's nothing really even, it's not dripping oil, or nothing. You can see it's completely spotless under here. Sorry for the shaky camera, but I'm on my phone and trying to lay underneath the car to show you. But like I said, it has a lot of, it's got thicker sway bars in the front, tubular lower control arms. You can kind of see in there. If I do this, you can see up in there. It's really well done. Hit the button on my phone to stop recording. It's really well done, and you know, it's been meticulously maintained. It's been garage kept its whole life. You know, the guy, so this is a 2-owner car. I'm the 3rd owner. The first owner had it new and only put 30,000 miles on it. Sold it in 2007 to the guy who I bought it from. He kept it from 07 to 2023, and he only put about 30,000 on it. So he really didn't drive the car, and that was one of the main reasons why he was selling it, is because he didn't drive it that much. Inside, you're gonna have to excuse it because I haven't vacuumed out the inside just yet, but here's the inside. Black leather, heated seats. These I did swap. Those came off of a high sport or a pace car, but they have the red bow tie like it has. I'm trying to match, you know, the SS. It has SS center caps. I think I'm going to paint the brake calipers red. I know a lot of people think that's tacky, but I think it'll tie everything in. SS, and then there's the red bow tie, and then has it on the headrests. But it's all stock inside except for the boost gauge, because these cars didn't come factory with a boost gauge until 04 and 05. If you optioned it out, the volt gauge would be a boost gauge. But there's the back seat, and I have a towel laying on the back to try and preserve when I don't have my sunshade up on the back, to try and preserve the, you know, because this is all black and I don't want it to crack and crack the speaker covers in the deck. But completely spotless interior. Like I said, it only has 60,000 on it, so you really, this is what a 60,000 mile car should look like. But let's go ahead and pop the hood. There you go. This is the powerhouse. This car is no slouch by any means. I just washed off the car, so that's why it's all wet up here, and I need to clean. As you can tell, I'm trying to keep this interior, trying to keep the engine bay as clean as I can. But it has ZZP performance coils, plugs, plug wires. Like I said, it has a full exhaust done on the car. Has a built trans so it can withstand the power, because from the factory these had 200 horsepower, just a NA. The supercharger, well, since this one is a little bit more hopped up from ZZP, I would anticipate this probably added like 65 horsepower, and then, you know, doing the open, it's more flowing exhaust, the coils, the wires, smaller pulley, a fender intake, so it's sucking in all the cold air, nothing hot, and then it has a chip done on it. I would estimate probably like 300, 310. The car's never been dynoed, but I mean, it throws you back in your seat when you stomp on it. It makes about 10 pounds of boost, but I mean, it's spotless in here too, mostly, you know, because it was garage kept. But I'll go ahead and fire it up in a little bit. But, you know, it has upgraded motor mounts, or, you know, the dog bones with poly mounts. Upgraded, the whole cooling system is brand new on the car. Water pump, radiator, fans, and the guy did swap out the Dex Cool, which I call Dex Kill. As most GM people may know, Dex Kill is not good. It's fine if you change it frequently, but if you just keep it in the car, it's not good. You need to service it, or just put in green, like which this has. But yeah, it does have a you can't really see it down there, but a external transmission cooler. And yeah, it's just it's got a whole bunch of stuff done to it, and it's really well done is what I'm trying to get at. So I'll go ahead and fire it up so you guys can hear it. Okay, let's see here. Oh, and that is one other thing. It does have a more powerful fuel pump. That's another thing which makes it, give it that little extra bump in power. You know, when you're on the gas, it keeps up and it doesn't, you know, cut fuel or make it weaker. But like I said, it's got a whole bunch of other stuff done to it, which I'm forgetting as I'm making this video. Let's see here. Pop the hood on it. Put that window down. The exhaust on this sounds really well. You know, for a V6, you don't want it to be too raspy, but this has a nice deep tone. And then when you're on the gas, you know, giving it throttle, it's not raspy at all. It sounds really well for a V6. There's that supercharger. I'll give it a couple revs for you guys. But yeah, there she is running. Runs really smooth, and it's a 3800, so that's what this car is. It's a smooth running V6. But there you guys go. But yeah, everything on the inside of the car works as it should. It has a really good stereo for stock. I mean, now granted, it does have a 200 watt amp from the factory, but really good stereo for stock. I'm not planning on changing anything on that because I can still play some CDs, and I have a Bluetooth transmitter which I can just transmit stuff from my phone so that I don't have to swap out that head unit, because that head unit does control a lot of things, you know, to reset oil life, do a whole bunch of other programmable options that this car has. But the car does have OnStar and a sunroof, garage home link, and all the different modes where you can see your miles per gallon and all that fun stuff. But the interior is very clean. So yeah, I'll go ahead and cut it off here. And we'll talk about some more things about the car and some future plans for it. So yeah, this is, you know, long time awaited, because I have been looking for this car since January of 2022. And, you know, just looking for one. And then I finally ran across this one in November, and I've, you know, stayed in touch with the guy, and, you know, I was telling him I'm a very serious buyer. I will buy it. And once the weather broke, you know, I drove up to Greensburg, PA, and I saw a car, and then we drove back up 2 weeks later, and I drove it home. So yeah, that's the little story with the car. Some future plans for it. I am going to be, you know, the headrest was one. I mean, this car, real quick, this car has every single thing that I would have done to it. Kind of ironic. I wanted to find a white one because my grandfather had one, and as a little kid, I was obsessed with that car. There's a little picture of me in the car. I know it's blurry. It's from a phone, or it's from a at-home film, but definitely, you know, a car that I've, you know, really liked. And that car unfortunately got totaled back in 2013, I believe. But yeah, I've always wanted this car, and it's kind of ironic. Literally the same car, just a year newer. It has the same interior, sunroof. Now that car did have the stock SS wheels. This one has SS wheels too, that are stock, but these are from the 04 and 05 supercharged ones. The 03 SS, you could option these wheels, but they would be a 16. These are 17. Like I said, in 04 and 05, you could get a 17-inch. And I like these much better than the 16s, even though, you know, it's only a size difference, but these look better, in my opinion. but some plans for it, not that much. I wanted to add the headrest in to tie in with all the red bow ties and SS badges. I think I'm going to do tint on the windows, and then on the front, these cars could come factory with a dealer installed option where it's color matched to the car and it'll say Monte Carlo. Not a lot of people like banners like that, but I think it would make this car look really well and something that I want to have done to it. And some other things, not that much. I already did the LEDs, that was on my list, just to make the car be seen a little more and have some better sight when you're driving it at night, from the driver's perspective. But it's really, it has everything done that I would have done to the car. Kind of ironic, but it took me pretty much almost a whole year to find this car, and here it is. But yeah, I wanted to make this video just to have a video out for you guys. Stay tuned, you will be seeing more stuff with this car, and I'll keep everyone in the loop with it, like how I did with the Blazer, but trying to get back on schedule with more uploads. And yeah, but thank you all for watching, and thank you all for 1,000 subscribers. Last video we were five away from 1,000 subscribers, and we hit it right around the time that I got this car. So thank you all so much for 1,000. And yeah, just a little short video showing off the new car, and stay tuned for the next video. Peace.